Well, you now know what business you want to try, why you want to get into that particular business, how you want to conduct that business, and where you want to conduct that business. So you got all of that information. Now it's time to get prepared to get started to open up and get moving. So you got to take a look at some other things that you're going to need, and or you may or may not need, but you got to check. So, do you need a business license? If you do, you have to check with your local city or county government and make sure that you have a license. It's good to have a business bank account. Might want to go talk to your banker and see what's required there. You may need to get insurance to cover yourself if you're offering services, if you make a mistake, that sort of thing, errors and omissions insurance, other things like that. Or you may need to have liability insurance if you're opening a storefront to protect your employees and your customers if you're going to have those. You want to know, well, we already talked about your tax status on how you want to operate, but you want to be set up for that. So you got to take a look at all of those things to get prepared so that you're not caught in a trick bag if you get open and somebody comes around and shuts you down because you haven't got the right permits or the right license or whatever it happens to be. But there's one other thing in preparation that is as if not more important, and that's your attitude about all of this. Starting a business, growing a business is not for the faint of heart. It's tough to do. It requires a lot of time and a lot of effort. So you've got to have the proper attitude or mental state to make sure that you are prepared to do what needs to be done, especially when things don't go your way. You got to be ready to figure out what went wrong, why it went wrong, and find a solution for it, or get help to help you find a solution for it. So you got to be ready to go. And as I said, it's getting started. It's an admirable thing. I'm all for it. I think we need more small businesses in this world. But from what they say, statistics say that like only 5% of them are left after the first couple of years. It's tough. So you want to make sure that you are fully prepared, not only with all the legal and required documentation, but also you want to make sure you're mentally and attitudinally prepared. And one thing you may need is money. So do you have enough money to get started? Does your business really need money to get started? We're going to talk about ways to get started or network or attract customers without spending a whole lot of money. But I've got a buddy that put $60,000 on a credit card to get his business started, and he did very well. I don't know if that's a recommended way to do it, but some banks offer loans to startups. I'm in the funding business as well for certain things, but I know that there are lenders out there that will lend you a business startup loan based on your personal credit. You may have family and friends. You got to consider all of those things, because one of the reasons that businesses fail is they run out of cash. They spend all they have before they get enough income to compensate that and put them in a positive cash flow situation. So you got all those things to consider. So take your time, get prepared, make sure you're started correctly, so you've got a great advantage of success as you get going with your new business and getting it started and getting it growing. So that's it for this session. Please tell your friends, have them check this out. If you think it's interesting, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate your viewing. We'll talk to you next time.